The first thing I ever learned about basketball came from this guy. He was an 8th grader, and Dave Knight was coaching the junior high school team, and he brought me with him every night. And the first night of practice, I was in the 6th grade. So I'm going to show you how I got broken in by this guy. I played 3 sports with him, and he's one of the best athletes ever in Orrville. Well, here's what Bob did to me. I was playing him, and it was in the old Orrville gym. Obviously, it's no longer there. I was kind of playing like this, and the basket is over here. Now, you got to show exactly what you did to me. He grabs me with both hands like this and spins me really hard in front of him. And he looks at me and he says, "When you're playing basketball, you dummy, you're supposed to stay between the guy you're guarding," which is me, he said, "and the basket." Now that's when he spun me around here like this. So I credit him with the first thing I ever learned about the game.
Actually, I think he enlarged upon that a little bit. You know, when you're as old as dirt, and you've been around Orrville High School as long as I have, you soon recognize there are 2 names synonymous with great basketball here in Orrville. One of them was Coach Knight, of course. The other one is the man you see whose name is painted on the side of the court here, Steve Smith. Smitty left us. Smitty left a legacy here in Orrville basketball that I don't think any coach in the future will ever accomplish. And unfortunately, cancer took him at too young an age, and who knows what might have been accomplished beyond that. But Smitty had over 500 wins here, and he also brought 3 state championships back to Orrville High School. He's going to be recognized December 13th, so we hope you'll all come back and see that ceremony. Without making this too long, because it's like Kent said, this guy's been known to grab the microphone. So just remember, Bob, I'm on offense, you're on defense. If he gets too close, Mr. Ritchie, tackle him. Kent mentioned a few things that I was going to mention. If one word could sum up this guy, I would think it would probably be loyalty. There's some high school classmates here this evening. There's some high school teammates here. There are longtime friends like the Rhodeses, the Yontos, the Balls, Hershey's, and many, many others. And they will all tell you the same thing, that this man has always been loyal to Orrville and certainly loyal to his friends. I have one little story that I want to finish up with here, and this is kind of a secret. This is a secret that not too many people know. I'm going to tell all of you, but you got to promise to keep this a secret. The secret to his success as a coach. Now, Bob readily admits that the best thing that ever happened to him was marrying his wife, Karen. That's not the secret. It seems that one week, Bob was preparing for a particularly important game that Saturday, and he had installed some new wrinkles in his offense. And it didn't go very well in practice, and needless to say, it didn't go very well in the game. So after the game, Bob was at home grousing about how poorly they had played. And Karen was offering suggestions. Now, Karen is not just a sweet little demure housewife who doesn't know anything about basketball. No. If you look at the Oklahoma Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame, you'll see Karen's name. She was a great coach in her own right. So she went on offering suggestions, and she said, you know, probably the best player or the player that knew the most about the offense sat on the bench the whole night. Why didn't you substitute him for so-and-so? Well, that was the last straw. Bob says, Karen, why don't you go out in the kitchen and bake a cherry pie? To which Karen replied, Coach, if I did, my cherry pie would be better than your offense. Now, wouldn't that make you a better coach? Who would want to know, and who would want everybody to know that your wife's cherry pie was better than your offense? So anyway, Bob, every time I walk into this gym and I look up and I see Bob Knight, Jim, I'm proud to call you friend. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Orrville welcome, Bob Knight.
I'd first of all like to say that I really appreciate, and it's a real honor for me, and I'm very appreciative of Bob's remarks about Steve Smith. To be involved with Smitty with the Floor and my name is a real honor for me to be a part of that with Steve Smith, because I don't think that in the entire history of our town, our school here, that anybody did more for it in the way that Smitty did. I played for two really good coaches here, Bill Schuckweiler and Jack Graham. Mr. Graham just died not long ago. One time, Coach Schuckweiler asked me on a punt to kick it out of bounds. He said, we're up by 2 touchdowns. Whatever you do, just kick it out of bounds. Well, I was standing on the 30-yard line. We were up 2 touchdowns. We're playing at Uricksville. This is what a great coach Schuckweiler was. I caught the snap, and I kicked it out of bounds. I turned, I kicked it over Schuckweiler's head. It went over the bleachers, and it went into the parking lot. We gained 2.5 yards on this punt. When the game was over, Coach Schuckweiler came up to me and said, I probably shouldn't have asked you to have kicked it out of bounds. Now, he was great. I go back to having played for him and Mr. Graham and Dave Knight was another one. That those 3 people I owe an awful lot to in terms of trying to formulate my approach toward coaching and teaching. But the real honor for me is being here with Steve Smith, because I think about all of the years that Orrville has been involved in sports, and it just really, really amazes me to come in and see as many different championships and as many accomplishments as Orrville kids and coaches and you folks as a community have had in athletics. It has to be almost unmatched over the last 20 years or so with any school in the state. I mean, it's a wonderful thing what you have all done, players, coaches, and fans, with the athletic program here at Orrville High School. That's something that you should really, really be proud of. As I said, I've always been very proud of having lived in Orrville, having gone to Orrville High School. I can remember teachers. We had a great group of teachers that we learned from, the coaches that I mentioned, and the players that I got to play with. There are a lot of guys that made great contributions in various sports. I do think that one player, I'm not going to go through a whole lot of players, but one player that I played with and that I played here, who I think is really special, and I'd like to have him stand, because I think that he's the best athlete that ever played here, and that's Warner Harper. If you didn't get to see him play, you really missed something, because he did everything well and played all sports, and not a finer person as an athlete ever existed than Warner Harper. It's obviously a tremendous honor for me, the fact that I get to share this with Steve Smith, and that it comes from my hometown. I've always been very proud of having gone to school here, having played here, and been an Orrvilleite. I hope that some of the things that I have done over the years are a reflection on my having been brought up in one of the greatest towns in the United States. And for that, I say thank you to you. I say thank you to your parents. I say thank you to my mom and dad. for having chosen Orrville as a place where I was going to grow up. Nobody that's ever been a citizen of this town has been prouder being that citizen than I have. Thank you very, very much.